Good morning. My name is Abigail Jamison. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to provide input as you are considering implementing the CLA Plus as a test to assess key competencies in your senior class of students. The CLA Plus is a test designed by the Council to Aid Education, referred to as the CAE from here on out, that assesses the key competencies of critical thinking, problem solving, communication, collaboration, creativity, and innovation. The first portion of the test is a 60-minute performance task that purports to measure analytic reasoning and evaluation, problem solving, writing mechanics, and writing effectiveness. Students are given a real-world issue and must critically read and analyze that, crafting a written response that demonstrates critical thinking competencies. The second portion of the test, then, is designed to complement the first. It is comprised of 25 selected response items that measure analysis and problem-solving skills, which are aligned to mirror the critical thinking skills assessed by the performance task portion. How exactly do we define critical thinking skills? What do they encompass? There is not one agreed upon definition. The CAE broadly defines critical thinking skills as strong skills in analysis and problem solving, scientific and quantitative reasoning, critical reading and evaluation, and in critiquing an argument, or the ability to see both sides. The CAE claims that cognitive processes used in answering open-ended questions, such as those in the performance task portion of the test, are fundamentally different than those used with multiple choice questions and answers. With open-ended questions, one must not only understand the issue, but also must be able to explain, rationalize, and possibly argue their answers. In sample tests, students noted that overall the majority, over 90%, had adequate time to complete the test. The most important criteria to use when evaluating a test are its validity, reliability, time to take, which is 90 minutes, and cost to take the test. Reliability refers to how dependably or consistently a test measures a characteristic or a construct, in this case, critical thinking skills. The original CLA was designed to test organization-level competencies. The inclusion of the selected response items in the CLA Plus was designed to increase student-level reliability by increasing the questions focused on the same construct, such as analysis or problem solving. In the pilot study of the CLA Plus, Cronbach's alpha was used to measure internal consistency reliability between two forms of the test. Reliability is expressed as a number ranging from 0 to 1. Values of 0.7 to 0.79 are deemed adequate, 0.8 to 0.89 are good, and 0.9 and up are excellent. When the tests are combined, 2 performance task sections and 30 selected response items, reliability coefficients rose to 0.87 and 0.85. They were deemed good. According to CAE, adding the selected response items to the performance tasks increased individual student scores to the point that they can be used to make decisions about grading, scholarships, admissions, or placement. The test is also used as an exit exam, as well as to prove proficiency in the workforce. Validity refers to the extent to which a test actually measures the knowledge, skills, and abilities or construct it is designed to measure. Validity is the most important aspect to consider when selecting a test. You can have a test that is reliable but not valid, so you always want to assess both. You cannot have a test that is valid but not reliable. Concurrent validity is said to be achieved when there are high positive correlations between tests measuring the same construct. So, if it highly correlates with other tests, such as the Collegiate Assessment of Academic Proficiency or the Measure of Academic Proficiency and Progress, measuring the same constructs, it can be considered valid. The CLA, the precursor to the CLA+, shows strong positive correlation with other tests of critical thinking in the ranges of 0.73 to 0.83. I do not believe the CLA+ has been tested. Face validity is determined when a test appears to measure what it claims to measure. For the CLA+, that indicates that its critical thinking and writing challenges are ones that students could and might face in the real world. In the pilot test, the CLA+ results indicate that students did indeed believe the test measured what it purported to. Furthermore, a sample of 41 experts, professors, considered the performance task test to be a good indicator of critical thinking, writing, problem solving, and decision making. Predictive validity refers to how well test scores can predict future scores on some criterion. This is what an employer would be looking at if using the test as an employment screen. Some additional items to consider include giving the test to incoming freshmen to adequately ascertain the knowledge and critical thinking skills obtained while in school. Only giving it during the senior year or as an exit exam does not provide a base from which to compare or measure. Secondly, the CLA+ has been proven to be much more effective, higher motivation and performance when stakes, such as it being used as a screening tool for grad school or for a preferred employer, are attached. In a standard setting study to formally establish guidelines for the mastery of the CLA+, 13 experts participated in judging test criteria and levels of mastery. These levels were basic, proficient, accomplished, and advanced. All judges agreed, 91.7% strongly agreed, that the CLA+ measures skills essential to success in the real world. It is my opinion that this test is best utilized as a screening tool for employment. There are several alternative tests to consider. First, there is adaptive testing, which pinpoints a student's strengths and weaknesses by increasing or decreasing the level of difficulty according to the test taker's responses. Eastern Kentucky University could use this method to design a test pinpointing the exact knowledge they are seeking. Another choice is on-screen testing, which allows students to take the tests when they are ready, not solely at the end of the year. This test is beneficial when measuring competencies and capabilities rather than knowledge acquired. However, it is probably a poor choice when measuring critical thinking skills. A third choice is simulations administered via the internet. They can be used to measure a student's critical thinking, reactions, and how they apply their knowledge to a particular situation. This could provide real-time feedback and observation of a student's responses and reactions, and it could be a viable alternative to the CLA+. Another option is to create e-portfolios throughout the year to be used for assessment of knowledge, skills, and abilities. Work is graded by a third party as it is submitted, with real-time feedback and alternatives suggested. Implementation of the standard tests, the Collegiate Assessment of Academic Proficiency, and the Measure of Academic Proficiency and Progress are always viable alternatives to the CLA+. Both are multiple choice and easily scored. However, the open-end questions of the CLA+ may better ascertain a student's critical thinking skills. Lastly, one could always create their own test. However, this is expensive and might incur the problem of low motivation and performance, as there will be no stakes attached. The CLA+ is administered solely via the internet, making it simple and effective. Internet administration allows for the test to be complex, while decreasing administration errors in scoring or reporting. Computerized scoring further reduces cost. Note that the inter-rater reliability between two humans and one human and a computer are comparable. Adaptive testing is fairly cheap and easily administered via computer in a testing center. It is widely used throughout the U.S. On-screen testing, simulations, and e-portfolios are also cheap and easily administered via computer. The Collegiate Assessment of Academic Proficiency, the ACT, and the Measure of Academic Proficiency and Progress are administered via computer, but grades are not immediately available in some cases, specifically when testing writing skill. After a review of the CLA+, as well as alternatives, it is my opinion that the CLA+ would be an excellent tool to determine key competencies of seniors at EKU, especially if one of the key competencies is critical thinking. Other viable options are adaptive testing and simulations, possibly in conjunction with each other. In my opinion, after the CLA+, the two together, adaptive testing and simulations, would give the broadest view of both knowledge, skills, and abilities, as well as critical thinking skills. Again, I thank you for allowing me the opportunity to provide input as you debate introducing the CLA+ to your senior students.